I could see just in guys' faces that they were pretty miserable.
It turned into this kind of shared trauma, like this traumatic experience where it's like, I'm in so much pain and this really sucks shit, and then I pull over and I look around and like I can tell in Daryl's eyes that he's in so much pain and this sucks shit, and now I feel like I know Daryl better as a man.
I didn't know it was gonna get as miserable as it got until we were in the thick of it. You only get the real raw passion in those moments.
I knew that getting into it, I was way out of my element, but those are the trips that you're gonna remember for the rest of your life. There's no way in hell I'm forgetting this story.
So why did we do this? Do we know?
Honestly, at this point, I don't know.
For real?
Blame Daryl.
Why did you do this? There's gotta be something.
No, the real reason is I've never raced motorcycles, and I wanted to race this year.
And so you made it as hard as possible.
Well, that part was actually Daryl's fault.
Earlier in the year, or actually at the end of last year, I decided this year I wanted to do 3 types of race. I wanted to do a road race, I wanted to do flat track, and I wanted to do a desert race. Probably 2 weeks later, Javino asked me about the whole Biltwell race.
Daryl was in one morning, had a cup of coffee, and I mentioned to him, like, I've always wanted to race. You're another guy who rides motorcycles. Would you be interested in racing with me so I have someone to do this alongside?
It was just like fortuitous, like really just out of the blue.
He's like, yeah, that sounds super fun. I'm in on that. A couple minutes later, he gets up, he's like, what if in addition we rode from here out to the race, did the race and rode back?
I don't know, I guess I kind of pushed the envelope all the time, you know, so that's where I had the idea, just let's freaking ride up there and do it. What the hell, man?
I was pretty hesitant. That sounded brutal. I'm like Googling like the mileage from here to there. I'm like 300 miles, like I don't know that I want to do that. And sure enough, he gets back up a couple minutes later, he's like, we've got 8 guys on board that want to do this. When
I mentioned that I had some guys that would go, and then Javino was just kind of like, oh shit, I guess maybe we have to do it.
No offense, Daryl, but you're a lot older than me. And I'm like, bro, this old guy's gonna do this? Like, I have to do this if he's doing it. I didn't know you were a SEAL, that's why you're insane.
So yeah, it just kind of took off from there. And we were just like, that's it, we're doing it.
We're gonna ride 300 miles out, we're gonna do this 100-mile desert race, we're gonna ride 300 miles back. Like, that's crazy. I'm like, all right, let me text my friends, see if any of my friends wanna do this as well.
He texted us in a big group chat with a lot of numbers I didn't know. It said, hey, we're gonna do a desert bike race. You guys can race, or you don't have to race, you can just come. I was like, I'm 1,000% not racing, because I know nothing about riding motorcycles besides riding around Pacific Beach to get groceries, but I'll come along for the ride. It sounds fun. So got roped into that, and the rest was a disaster.
When I moved out here, I started hanging out with G. He said he was taking a group to do a race, and I said I would love to join, but I have a Harley and probably can't race. And he told me that there's a Harley division and I should sign up for it. And so that's how I got into it.
I thought that there'd be no better way for me to kind of challenge myself and get as unique of an experience as if I did everything for the first time. Like, rode up there 300 miles, first time on a dirt bike, first time dirt off-road, and I did a race. Like, I was really prepared mentally for what was ahead. And that helped, because yeah, it was pretty brutal.
We've been looking at it for the whole week, and it was just, you know, it said it was going to be nasty. Friday morning, the day that we're going to leave for the race, woke up like crack acid on. It was super early, and it was just pouring at my house. Got up, got everything together, got all my rain gear on, went out, and it was completely just perfect sunny day. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. Down in towards Lucerne Valley and then cut over. So it'll be some, good riding without just, going on the freeway. Freeway suck.
6:30 in the morning, we're sitting here having coffee. It's beautiful out, like sun's out at this point. It had been raining all morning, then it cleared up. We're like, oh, we're gonna get lucky. It's gonna be nice. Sure enough, by the time we geared up and got ready to roll out, it was just pouring rain.
Oh shit. Daryl, you said they've already got about 3 inches. I don't think we're gonna be able to do Big Bear.
We were initially gonna plan to go through Big Bear. Everything was getting closed down. It was dumping snow. Before we even left Kettle, we kind of had made the call that Big Bear wasn't gonna work out.
Big Bear's already got 3 inches of snow though.
Fucking dumping. I think we're gonna have to skip the mountains, bro.
I think so too.
So let's go to Temecula. We'll all fuel up there.
Yeah, and then figure out which way we want to go around. Yeah.
Right when as soon as we're about to start our ride, I see everyone throwing on their Gore-Tex, their rainproof jackets, everything like that. And I had a jean jacket and jeans with holes in them with no belt. And my seat had a giant rip in it that sucked in all of the water. Like when you asked Alex, when did you realize you were in over your head? When I stepped in this door.
I looked outside and it just starts dumping. And everyone goes outside and all the bikes are just getting dumped on.
Lovely weather we're having.
In my mind, I'm picturing April, springtime, beautiful conditions. It's not supposed to be like this. And the whole week was gorgeous leading up to it, and the whole next week was gorgeous. It's a rude awakening to how brutal the ride out was gonna be.
Friday, cold, wet, and windy with a chance of some thunderstorms. We do have some winter storm warnings out there.
Winter storm warning. I know it's springtime.
Everyone is going to be impacted by the cold and the wind.
We will get measurable rain and mountain snow, and it will affect your Friday travel.
Fucking sick, huh? Woo! Boys riding into the ice storm. My feet are soaked. I'm freezing. These $25 Amazon gloves are not good enough.
It was like, downpouring, but then, it got nice. And I don't know, thought maybe we might get lucky, but then going up the pass, it got pretty nasty.
We gotta go up and over those, which is gonna be really cold. We got a little bit of snow.
We hit sleet, then it started hailing on us, and then it started like full-blown snow.
This is fucking gnarly. For those of you at home, this is snow.
On a dirt bike that isn't very quick in the snow, weaving in and out of semi-trucks, going through a mountain pass, was one of the most miserable experiences I've had.
This is definitely the gnarliest possible conditions we could have gotten for this trip. We're gonna already have a documentary worth of content, and all we've done is ride there. Wild.
Each time that I thought I could no longer take it, Daryl would pull off and I'd say, thank God, and we'd run to the bathroom and squeegee out the socks. And then I'd say, there's no way the next leg can be that bad. To Ian's point, somehow each leg was worse.
Every time we would stop, we'd take a break. The next leg of the trip got worse.
We left here, it was pouring rain, and that wasn't ideal. And then you hit the next phase, and it's windy and rainy, and that sucked. And then it's snowing and horrible, and now we have to hop on the freeway because there's no other options, and that sucked. And then you're like, all right, we're through it all, we're gonna drop into the desert, snow and rain are pretty much gonna be gone, and then you get the 50-mile-an-hour gusts.
Probably the core memory of defining brutal in that trip was we're probably 75 miles out from Ridgecrest. It's just a straight line when it kind of goes uphill. It is so windy and I'm so cold that we're all just going in a straight line and we're all leaned over into the wind.
It's a single lane highway and there's these massive semis coming. And so you're leaning in and then the semi comes and it kind of knocks you back and then you lean in.
Oh. Anytime a truck goes past, you just like lose all their speed.
I think that was the mindset for a lot of it, was like, as it got more gnarly, the only option, the best option, was to go through it. There's some pride and some fun in pushing through and going through that miserable experience. And it did make it that much more meaningful, and it made the event that much cooler that we had horrible weather. That's badass. We rode through the rain and the snow and some crazy shit, but like, would I have preferred that? No. No, I would have preferred sunshine and cool drone shots of the lake and Big Bear and a nice, lovely little meander through the woods, but we didn't get that.
It's a rough start, but the rain stopped.
Yeah. What's going on with your suspension? I've heard.
See, it's just my bike is such a piece of crap compared to everyone else's. There just is no suspension apparently. They said if you just push it down, it just bounces. We're making great time. We got through everything imaginable. We got through rain, sleet, snow. But we got, I think, within 6 or 7 miles of our destination.
You're always supposed to watch out for the guy behind you in your rearview mirror. And the guy behind me was Ian. And Ian disappeared. And I wasn't sure why.
My bike broke down. I was throttling at like 65 miles an hour, and then it was just like, doof, 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 and then it just completely gave out.
There's a YouTuber, he did an episode on, like, how can I kill a KLR? And he couldn't do it. But somehow this guy does. He just kills it. He's just riding across the desert. And
How did Ian break down? We were so close. Like, his bike was running fine. We almost made it. What's going on?
They called the Oscar Brewing Company van, came, picked us up. We loaded it in the car.
We got him back into camp, unfortunately, through the van and not through riding. So he did probably 295 of the 300 miles. Lo and behold, it was out of oil, I think. And now it sounds like a machine gun when you try to turn it on.
But we had made it. And that was the important part. It was like, holy crap, we just went through hell, but we made it 300 miles through gnarly conditions, and we made it to camp.
Super cold, super long. The freeway was super scary. Everything else was super fun. Only thing I did anticipate was how horrible the weather was going to be. I mean, we knew it a week out, but 3 months ago we started planning this. Didn't think of that as an option. Oh.
So I don't know what that means.
It was a pre-race meeting at night. I was looking forward to a fire that night in the desert, and we get there and there's like 60-mile-per-hour gusts of wind. And so we couldn't have a fire, and so we all huddled in G's family's RV and sat around the floor and drank some wine and had some pasta and just reflected on the day. And the energy was picking up. There was lots of excitement for the next day.
I'll be drinking my coffee and hopping on the bike.
Do you have gear, like protective gear?
I have what I wore today.
Do you want to borrow?
That's when I started talking to these guys about what I should expect and when I started realizing I was in over my head.
Jim said a line of 1 lap for you. Luca, can you?
I get 3 laps.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't think you're gonna make it past.
There's a whole Harley.
He doesn't think I'm gonna do it?
What?
He's like, yeah, I feel like he's gonna do 1 lap. He's not doing another. And
Oh,
I'm like, I
fuck
don't think
that.
you bet Alex. I think if Alex completes a lap, he's gonna keep going till he's broken.
Yeah.
He said that today. He's like, why would I do the first lap and then not do the second and third?
Yeah,
Like if I do it once, that's the worst one.
Woke up in the morning, I was definitely amped. I'm ultra competitive, so despite the fact I've never raced in my entire life, I'm on a bike from the 90s, I still think I have a shot to win. Why? I don't know. But I'm like, all right, I'm gonna lock in, we're gonna take this seriously, and I'm gonna see what I can do today.
My expectations coming into this was it's gonna be rough. Like, it's gonna be challenging. First time on a dirt bike, I wanna try to go slow, I wanna take everything with ease. You know, if I have to hop off the bike and like walk it, I will. That was my mindset going into it.
Pants on. A little tight. So the morning was prep the bike, right? Chain lube, starting it, making sure it's warmed up, topping off oil, making sure the bike's ready to go for race day.
To prospectors.
And then strategizing a little bit. So I was lucky enough to have my parents out there that were gonna help pit for me.
Well, a lot of confidence pre-race.
It was very much like, all right, now we gotta kind of lock into race mode and see how day 2 is gonna go.
My race was, not what I expected, really. Literally 30 minutes before the race starts.
My throttle cable just snapped. Ugh. Are you fucking kidding?
You got time before you start.
That's unbelievable. Let's see. I just literally revved it up and it snapped.
It was total disbelief. Like, I was, cracking the throttle and nothing was happening. I'm like, is this really happening, like, right now? And I pulled the throttle cable out and it was snapped at the end. I'm just like, yeah, what do you do? I was bummed. I mean, I was totally bummed. And when the race started, it was a total downer at that point. I'm the type of person that literally takes the bike down to just all the spare parts and I go over every single nut and bolt. I mean, I'm so meticulous on how I checked everything, and one thing I didn't check was the throttle cable. I didn't pull it apart to look, but that was it. I just went and helped guys pit a little bit and kind of cheered them on. That's about all I could do.
Oh yeah, I can see the angle. Hell yeah. Woo! It's gonna be sick. ¿Dónde vamos? The morning of the race, I had all sorts of people from our crew last minute handing me gear that I probably should have had, which I didn't. So I got an armor jacket, I got boots, we aired down my tires. I wasn't planning on doing any of this. And I was like, well, shit. And I rolled up to my division. I think I was 15th. Oh, we got some fun looking bikes around here. As I rolled up, there was a bunch of other Sportsters. That's my bike. I have a Harley Sportster. And I had the only one that looked like a Harley. All the other bikes were dirt bikes with like Harley engines in them. Okay, I'm the only motorcycle like this out here. This could have been a big mistake.
Fuck yeah,
How's it going, brother?
amazing. I looked over there like, he's on a stock Sportster, man. That's amazing.
He led me astray. What's up, guys?
That's how you fucking do it.
We'll see. I rode it up from San Diego. Participation trophy today, that's the goal. Well, at least I'm popular. A street sportster, this was such a bad idea. All right, Javino, this one's on you, brother. This is your fault. This is your fault. You told me there were more motorcycles like me. You with the hooligans.
Let's go in.
Yo, yo.
You ready to shred?
I'm ready, brother.
You're racing a Dyna.
I'm way faster.
Oh, yeah. And lighter.
I won last year with this bike. This is a first for me.
I know.
You couldn't tell?
Have you already been over all the stuff?
Overall, what stuff?
You know, all the stay back and if there's a bush, don't hit a bush.
Tell me everything.
So the biggest, like, so your tires are street tires.
Yeah.
Which is badass. I love you for doing this. But you're gonna have terrible traction.
Yeah.
So don't ever touch your front brake and keep your weight back.
Okay.
And trust me, forget speed.
Yeah.
Right? Your goal is to just finish out there.
Exactly.
So go one lap and go, if you don't feel like you're going too slow, you're going too fast, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Right?
Okay.
All right.
While I was sitting there, the realization crept in, and I probably had 15 or 20, hopefully you have it on the mic. Probably like 15 people came up to me and either were like dapping me up and telling me like, oh, you're so ballsy, like this is sick. And the other half people were like, do you know what you're getting yourself into? Like this is absurd. Like they're all telling me about like the features. They're like, okay, there's a concrete drop.
Alex is running over, grabbing zip ties. He's like, my oil line's gonna rip off, and you're kind of sitting there and you're eyeing everything up. You're like, dude, Alex is fucked. Like, you're looking at these crazy like monstrosities of Harleys with dirt bike tires and crazy suspension on it, and then Alex lined up on a street bike.
All right, people are going. Let's see if we can get some participation points. The stock Sportster. Ew! May have bitten off more than I could chew with this one. We'll see.
My whole mindset for the start was, all right, we're not winning the race on the start. Let everyone go and then go. I've never done a rubber band start. I didn't want to get smashed. Band drops. I wait a second. I take off. Turns out a lot of people waited a second because it ended up in front of a handful of people. And then I got excited and my competitive side took over and I got a little bit ambitious and started pushing. Screw everything I just told myself about 70%. I'm going all in, I want to win this race. Daryl, again, man of wisdom, had some phenomenal advice. The race isn't won in the first corner, but it can be lost.
Oh, they're cruising, and I am chilling. Lots of dust. My mindset at this moment was, I'm gonna take this like as a chill joyride. I forget who it was, but they were talking shit. Who's your soccer coach? Jim. He was like, you're lucky if you finish one lap. And I was like, screw this guy. Like, I'm gonna finish all 3 laps. I think there was like a 6-hour window between the open and the end of the course. So my mindset was just like, slow and steady, I'll go. And then as soon as everyone took off, I was like significantly slower than everybody. All the different heats behind me were catching up very quick. So in my rearview mirror, there were just people passing me the whole time. I thought I had everyone pass me, and then the final class was the misfit class, which was just all these like stupid mopeds and like little Groms and whatever, and they started passing me too. And so I was like, oh, that's everybody. And then all of a sudden there's these Vespas passing. I was like, what the fuck? But I felt good, and I felt like I was gonna be able to finish. I was like, if I maintain, I think 15 miles an hour, I can do all 3 laps and get it done in the 6 hours.
At the start, I let everybody go and I let the dust kind of settle because I tried to go with the pack, but I wasn't comfortable with like giving it full beans yet. And I just kind of took things slow, and probably about not even 3 minutes into it, I come under the little bridge, and then I go, hey, I think I know that guy at the side of the road.
Yeah, can't get it to start. Holy fuck, I went down hard. Self-control went out the window. I was trying to win. I'm gonna have to dial it back to do 2 more laps.
And so I pull up next to G, and his bike's kind of down. He's looking a little beat up, or I think his bike was up, and he was trying to start it. And so I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna help him. Like my buddy crashed.
Want me to kick it?
Yeah.
And so I go and I try to help kickstart it. It doesn't work because I think it was flooded at the time.
What's wrong? I think I flooded it. I'll be right. Go race. I'll figure it out.
You want me to keep trying?
Give it 1 more and then go race. Yeah, go race. I'll figure it out.
All right, buddy.
Have a good one.
Kickstart. He's like, go. And I'm like, no, like I want to help you. He's like, no, go. Like it's a race. Go.
Bro, go race. I'll be good.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Worst case, I'll get
with you.
Worst case, I'll get a stock card. Fuck. Come on, bike. Woo! To be honest, I've been riding forever, and that was one of the gnarliest wrecks I've ever had because I never usually push that hard, and I got a little bit caught up in it. I'm trying to kick it, trying to get it started. It's a little bit flooded. It's not starting. I'm like, man, I'm sitting there for a second. Like, I can't be out at mile 4. We just rode 300 miles yesterday to get here. I can't end the race at mile 4. Yes! Finally get it started, get back on the bike, and then it was like, all right, that was a good reality check of I need to settle down. I've got, 71 more miles? That's a long ways. We got to settle in and get going, and then kind of settled into the race. I ended up pitting lap 1 because I had lost a bunch of gas when the bike was down. That was a good check too. My mom was pretty nervous because everyone had started coming past and like I wasn't there, and they know I'm okay on a motorcycle. I should have been a little faster than I was. We threw some gas in it, got hyped, got back out for lap 2, and then it was like, all right, let's settle in, let's start clicking off some miles and see how it goes. I wanted to lap Alex. No offense to him, he was just on a bad bike for the conditions. So that was the goal. I come up to the road crossing going the other direction, and I see a Harley in an orange jersey. And coming past and crossing the road, I gave him a good cheer and a yeah, like, oh, Alex is still in it. Like, he's got to be on lap 2 at this point if he's here. Like, dude's ripping if he's on lap 2 and he's already there. Like, man, I got probably half a lap to get around to catch him. Like, I don't know if I'm going to catch him to lap him. Like, he's moving. At no point did I think that was his first lap and he had broken a bunch of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, we're coming back to you right now.
Okay, awesome. I'm right by the guys at the flag.
Okay, yeah, we'll come right there. I don't know that we have anything in here, but we can check it out.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had come right up to the road crossing, and so I was able to pull over on the road. When shit hit the fan was, I went to change my gear, and the gear lever just completely started spinning around the bolt. I saw the Jeep go by, and it was Riley's Jeep, and I called him. He's a mechanical engineer. He's smart as shit. Like, he's probably resourceful. So he drove by, and I called him. I was like, can you come? And it was weird because there was like hesitation in his voice. He was like, well, we're supposed to go to this other checkpoint. And then I think he was like, Ava in the background was like, no, that's content. We need the content. I was like, oh, I'm glad that I'm content. Like, you guys, yeah, come on back and get your content and maybe try to help me while you're at it. There's a bolt that connects the clutch to the foot shift, and the bolt came out. So I'd like to maybe find a way to denudate it.
I don't know what's in either of these.
All right.
These are the mirrors. That might have nothing. Else I might have a bolt in there that I can just pop out.
We were trying to figure out anything that could go through the hole of this, the shaft into the lever of the clutch.
Yeah, maybe the hook from the bungee cord.
He had a bungee cord, and we were trying to put the bungee cord through, but it was too fat. So he took a knife and he was shaving it down, and those have a metal core. And so we put it in like a hook and pinched it as hard as we could.
I think you're good here. I don't think that's going anywhere. I bent it.
Okay.
Pretty good amount.
It held, but every time I switched my gear, it kind of shaked and looked super sketchy. I looked at Riley and I was like, dude, should I keep going or should I go back? Should I keep on the race or should I just go home?
Get on the race.
I got to do one lap. He's like, fuck it, dude, keep going. And I was like, okay, give me the other half of the bungee cord and the knife. If it falls out, I'll just do it again.
I'll try to stay in like first and second and limit my shifting. I'm not going very fast anyways.
And I started going, and in my mind, I was looking at the time. I think I was like at an hour and a half, and I think I was like 13 miles in. And so I was like, okay, I think I can do this.
They come up to this hill, and I followed people all the way up to the hill. And at no point did anybody take a different path. At no point did I see different signage or anything. And like this whole hill is all just rocks and just nonsense and stuff that wants to hurt you. That was the most difficult shit of the whole weekend. I fell like 8 times in the same place. The first lap took me about an hour and a half. I took a little bit of a breather because I was pretty exhausted. The second lap, I was more focused and everything's so much easier. Going faster in the thick sand, significantly easier. Going faster on the whoops, I learned that very early on in my second lap and I did much better. So I come back the second lap and I did it like half the time.
The second half of the race was sandy. Like there was deep sand. There's bikers just littered in the bushes. Like people who had fallen or people whose bikes had like broken down. Like people have their tools out. People are like taking pisses. Like it just felt like a wasteland. Everything was going good until I lost my rear brake. There's 2 bolts that go into my frame to keep the foot peg and then the brake lever in place, and it was pivoting on 1 bolt. So every time I tried to brake, the whole thing would just go. And so that's when I started feeling like, okay, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I won't make this the complete 3 laps. Once I got to the hills, it was steep. Like if I was riding the Harley on a concrete road down that grade, I would be hesitant. And there were like a bunch of rocks in front of me.
Is there a less steep way down or is this the only way?
I think this might be the only way.
All right.
I tried Frankenstein walking down with my front brake, and pretty much every time I touched the front brake, my bike fell over, and the bike's like 600 pounds, so it was just exhausting. It really took it out of me. And my bike.
Initially, I was gonna take lap 3 easy. Just popped into the pits on lap 2, didn't have an issue, just wanted to know how far in front of me was Jim.
How far in front is Jim?
10 minutes ahead of you.
Jim was my soccer coach growing up, a great mentor in my life. Rips on a motorcycle as grown-up riding. He's in his 60s. Should I be able to catch him? No, not realistically, but because he's so much older than me, I'm like, all right, maybe I got a shot. Let's get going. Settled into lap 3 and I'm like, all right, we're doing pretty well. Felt pretty quick, and then coming in the last, like, I don't know what it was, like 5 miles, my body was so shot by that point. I think I went to pass someone, I don't really know. I went over this center part of the trail and it was super sandy. Total rookie mistake, just exhausted.
Fuck! Oh! Fuck! Okay, let's try to get it up.
I was frustrated that I laid it down on something so stupid and simple that I've done a million times and should not have crashed there. And then I was exhausted. When I finally got the bike up, I knew it was flooded, but you gotta kind of kick it through to clear it and then try to get it started. I had such little energy in my body that process, it literally felt like a bigger mountain than climbing over the mountain in the snow the day before. Fuck! To wreck only a couple miles from the finish was definitely more frustrating than wrecking a couple miles from the start.
I'm so tired. Yes!
But finally got it started, finished out the race.
Tires and all, baby.
That was fucked up, man.
I finally came around the corner and then everyone was sitting there and cheering me on and they were like, "Are you gonna keep going?" I was like, "Absolutely not." Jim was right. Like, I'm lucky to have done one lap. The clutch on the thing is barely there. The rear brake is gone. Like, there's a bunch of shit broken off of the Harley. Like, this bike went through some abuse. Yeah, if I still had that, I would maybe try again, but I'm calling it at one lap. It's fucked up.
Finishing was a great feeling. It was cool to know, like, wow, I completed that race. I had so many bruises and scrapes that I didn't know about. I was bleeding in different places I didn't know about. It was just, I'm done.
Two racks, dude. I think we're taking it easy. I mean,
Yeah, that went out the window as soon as it started.
I had so much fun on my second lap, I didn't want to ruin it with the third lap. It was kind of my mindset.
Dude, I'm proud of you. That was good. How'd you do on E-Mount, or did you go around it? There
So,
you go.
my dumbass didn't see the sign where it said easy way, hard way.
And so I was like, I can go out for lap 3, but I'll be way more fatigued. I wanted to kind of save some energy for the ride home.
We were so shot. Like, our bodies were toast. We were hurting. I didn't realize how much my body was gonna be beat up. It started to creep in back of mind, like, do I really wanna do 300 miles home tomorrow? It was really cool to have a group that didn't know each other, of a bunch of different backgrounds, a bunch of different ages.
That was the best part, meeting everybody, meeting you guys, genuinely. Sitting around the campfire at the end of Saturday and just talking with everybody and hanging out.
I didn't know anyone besides Javino and Alex coming up here. It was really fun, like hanging out with everybody, getting everyone's different backgrounds.
Anybody have any soap?
Our own group was really kind of a really diverse group from all different, type of backgrounds and everything, and just really great group of people.
All right, second place, 228, Jim Van Sickle.
We got to learn from each other, and you got to see people overcome adversity. It brought us together as a crew.
When literally people are driving by going, "You guys are insane," you just go, "Yeah, maybe a little bit." That's what life's about. Sometimes you got to do things that are maybe a little insane.
You can't go through something like that and not develop some sort of camaraderie and friendship. You only get that in extreme situations. You're gonna get that going through the snow, racing hundreds of miles, doing gnarly stuff, having your bike break morning of and not being able to race.
I honestly don't think people realize what either they're capable of or what just like things are capable of. If I had known what the trail looked like, I wouldn't have done that. Because I would have been like, there's no way you can, like the Harley can't do that. And I'm not saying it's my capability, like the bike is more impressive than what I did. I like Frankenstein walked for 10 miles an hour, like anyone can do that. But the fact that the bike didn't like just blow up at some point, I think it's cool to do something that's not supposed to be done.
I'm a firm believer every once in a while you just have to kick yourself in the balls. It just makes everything that much better. I agree. You just freaking appreciate everything so much because it's true.
If it was a perfect ride up, like 75 degrees, no issues, yeah, like I might forget it in a couple years, but like this is something I'm never gonna forget and I don't regret doing besides destroying my bike. Yeah.
Go around and maybe go all the way up.
We were kind of taking stock of how many bikes actually ran. It really came down to Dom's bike ran, my bike needed to be fixed, but ran. My steering was a little bit messed up from the second wreck, but would have been fixable, and then Alex's bike ran. Other than that, no one else had a bike they could ride home on.
I obviously could not ride back, so like I said, got used to strapping it up, so we loaded it up into Alex's girlfriend's van and then enjoyed the nice air-conditioned ride back.
Dominic and I had the only dirt bikes in that group, and he's like, yo, I don't want to ride home. I'm like, thank you, you're saying that? I don't want to ride home either.
Sure beats riding 300 miles.
I mean, we could have. If Daryl was functional, I'm sure I would have gotten guilted into riding.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, there's no doubt it would have rode back. I mean, it's just sucks, but I guess it worked out for everybody.
As I'm sitting there, everyone's figuring out their own way to like get their bikes home, and I realize I'm the only one who doesn't have a way to get his bike home.
The boys are done. This is the best decision we made this whole trip.
We're talking to Alex, and it's like, more than happy to go throw for a trailer, and we'll get it all home. He's like, no, I think I'm gonna ride.
So are you still riding back?
Yeah, I am still riding back. All these dirt bikers are a bunch of pussies.
You had a street bike, you drove a lap, broke down, and you're the only one who's still.
Yeah, 100%. I'm built different. I'm tougher than all these chumps that come out here on their prissy little dirt bikes. Nuh-uh, I came, did the race. I did the race. Bike broke, bike fixed, driving home 300 miles. Yeah, I rode home with a questionable clutch lever. Thank God for all the tools we had in our group. I had to extract the sheared off bolt for my brake and take one from the rear peg. That was Daryl's idea, that was smart.
I was actually gonna finish my 2 laps before I head out, so leave you guys back.
You're the only bike that made it
That was
back.
brutal, look at me. I'm the lone soldier. All the other guys are a bunch of weenies. Let the record show, I rode the most.
So happy we didn't have to do that. Yeah, call me out, it would have sucked. It would have been so brutal. It would have not been fun. The entire ride would have just been like, fuck it, we're doing it for the film, like we're locking in. But Yeah, the first half was fucking, we're doing it for the film. Like, I didn't want to do the first half either.
It was a wild ride. It was just fun hanging out with the people. I think that's what's gonna bring this movie together. It's just all the people having a good time, toughing it out.
You're gonna throw yourself in the edit?
Yeah, this'll be, I'll be watching this in a couple weeks maybe, and be like, oh Simon, what'd you get yourself into? So, and cut.